It is Saturday, October 2nd, and I've made my way to Delano, California. Today was my first day of travel, and it was a little surreal. Uh, it turns out that when I left out of San Jose this morning, it was the AQI was almost 170, and I don't know why. My expectation was that I thought the smoke would kind of break, at least at portions. Um, I was surprised to find that even as I went across, making my way over to Highway 5, I was going south, and I, even near San Luis Reservoir, Los Baños, it was, there was, I don't think it ever let up. I could barely make out the hills on either side of the highway, and it was, we haven't gotten used to that. I hope we never do. But clearly, our state is in distress, like a lot of the country is, and so it also impacted me in a different way, which was something that I wanted to talk to you about today. Anyways, I'd like to do a mini PSA because, and this is on behalf of my daughter, she wanted me to be really clear about what I was doing in terms of the coronavirus. And I think it's important because it will help you understand about how the interviews are. I think the interviews are going to work. It turns out that my in taking on this trip, I made a commitment, obviously, to the people that I love, but also to myself, that my objective is to obviously stay safe myself, but I have a huge obligation to the people that I meet, and I really need to make sure that I am doing everything so that I can to keep myself and everybody safe. To that end, I made some. I always make rules. People who have taken these trips with me, usually they're around food, and I like to have some kind of challenge built in. In this case, what I'm going to be doing is, while I am staying in hotels, which you can see right now, I'm staying in hotels that have ventilation, that have no shared ventilation, that vent directly to the outside. I also am, I'm not going indoors at all for the 30 days, with the following exceptions. Hopefully it's just once a week. I'm going to be eating out of a cooler that's in the back of my car, and that means that I will go to a grocery store. I may have to do it more than once a week, but hopefully just around that. And I will go into grocery stores in the ways that I do at home, similarly with lots of equipment. I have face masks and shields, and the goal will be, the sad part of that is that I won't be eating in diners, which is where I used to get the bulk of my interviews before. So it's going to look like this. I will be driving in the morning, stopping at some point. I will take my lunch that will, from the back of the car, in a bag with my equipment, and I will sit in a public place, whether it's a park or post office or town square, whatever I can find, where I can set up. I built a piece of plexiglass shield that can sit on a picnic table if I am able, if I can find someone to talk to. It sounds awkward. It's probably going to be worse, but we'll see. I'll stay tuned. We'll see how that goes. Today, because of the smoke, there were very few people outdoors. So really, my only chance to talk to people was at a gas station, and I stopped at several fruit stands. And in those cases, I was the only customer in those cases, and I talked briefly, and I collected up words for our word map, which brings me to the final subject for today. For people who have followed before, in all three of the trips that we did previously, I would ask as many people as I could on a given day, if you could describe in one word how you feel about this election, what would that word be? And we would put it in, and like all word maps, the more a word is repeated, the bigger it gets. I think this year it's going to be particularly interesting. I would like to conclude my day with sharing with you the word and part of an interview or the opening section of the interview that I got with Bob Bobby and Katie's dad, and he gave me his word. And interestingly enough, he gave a description that I think kind of encapsulates some of what I'm hearing in a lot of places, and I thought it was particularly well spoken. So, with no more ado, Bob McDonald. Would describe in one word how you feel about this election. What would that word be?
Scared. That's the only word I got for it. Well, terrified really is a better word. I'm absolutely cringing with fear. Yeah, terrified. I got no better word. I mean, people would say, well, hopeful. Well, sure, I'm hopeful when I'm not terrified. But I'm more terrified than hopeful because the upside is what it is and the downside is unthinkable.